I'm working on a bed, which is at the same time a coffin.
Okay.
Okay, David?
I'll bring the stuff tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I just forgot it this morning.
And why specifically working on a bed that is at the same time a coffin?
Well, the work is not finished. There are more things coming on. It's about South African miners, people working in the mines. I've heard that many of them, they get sick in the mines and they're sent home to die. So the work is about that, sending home to die.
Okay. There is a lot of fragility going around you from each artist I've interviewed.
Yeah, I think
The concept,
also fragility.
yeah.
But I think people, artists are the first people who feel what's happening around. That's why they put it into images, into forms, or what they feel.
I was invited to a workshop in the United States, 1983.
Yeah.
It was a workshop, of international artists workshop called the Triangle, because initially they thought of 3 countries, the US, Canada and Britain. But later on they realized they were depriving other artists that opportunity. So I was one of the first people invited who were not from that triangle corridor. And when I got there, I was virtually overwhelmed by that experience of a workshop. Artists coming from different countries, different cultures, working together for 2 weeks without any interruptions, and working in a collective spirit of freedom, free expression, and brotherhood. So I thought this would be a fantastic idea to introduce into South Africa. At which time, you know, the apartheid system was still in place, and it was difficult to bring artists together from different provinces, let alone countries. So I thought this would be an ideal concept to use to bring those artists together. And we discussed the issue with several colleagues, especially Bill Lacey, who had a teaching practice in Saxonwold. But at the time we were still in Parktown, and we felt we should have our first workshop in 1985. And at the time I went to London to study, and when I came back, we had our first workshop in 1985 with artists from different provinces.
How have you found it being at Beck Factory after some long good time away?
I think it really took my mind back to the time when we started, you know, because there was no studio culture in South Africa. And everybody was working in their corners. But the workshop brought us together. It brought that collective spirit to artists. Okay. So it reminded me of that very first workshop we had in 1995.
All right. Thanks so much, David.
Had I grown up in a country which supports art like this one, today I would be somewhere. I would accept this interview because I would be worth much more than just an interview.
And I arrived with the idea of the intention of not making the kind of work I usually make, and not making any finished work or work that could be necessarily bought and taken away, and to use materials that I don't usually not use, and to use tools that I don't usually use, and all of that I've done.
Okay, this is Benon, or Ben, one of the workshop attendants, participants. He's from Uganda. Actually, he's the one who is recording this, and this is part of the fun that has been going on with him during the workshop. he is experimenting with a new way to paint.
My drawings, how to apply the color in my drawings. You see, it's about contrast in the beginning, lines and shadows, lights and lines, and in between the color is coming the factor, the element we make the emotions.
During the
I've been experimenting
okay.
with inks, colored inks, because I've never worked with colored ink. And then I'm doing abstracts. I haven't really done abstracts. So yeah, I'm exploring doing abstracts with ink, which I've never done before. It's something new, it's a new challenge.
And I'm not actually part of the workshop, but I've just been, doing things with the guys, with everybody, like making stuff with everyone else. So I suppose I am actually part of the Thupelo workshop, if you think about it in that sense.
Okay.
But I'm here because I'm in Joburg because I'm doing the David Kolowani residency. Yeah.
Right. How would you describe what is happening?
Around me at the moment.
Yeah.
Chaos.
The workshop.
Manic, frantic chaos. That's what but it's fun.
Beautiful
Lots
chaos.
of fun. Yeah, beautiful, fantastic, learning chaos. It's really nice.
And how will you describe what has it affected you?
Oh yeah, it's affected like my process in every single way. Like it makes me think of different angles where I can approach work and things like that. So it's a good learning curve.
I must say it's quite a nice thing to have so many people creating something in such a small space, because it changes the energy here at the Bag Factory. So it's definitely, every time you come into work, it feels like a very different space every day. Plus the exhibition's literally growing up around us, so every day you come in and it's all different, which is great. It's like an organic, alive thing that's happening. So I really enjoyed it.